Hello viewers, welcome to the Editorial Analysis by Drishti IAS. In this section, we regularly take editorials from various newspapers and news portals for a better understanding of various issues happening in India and around the globe. Dear viewers, in this section, we first try to link the editorial with our UPSC syllabus. Then we go analytical in order to understand some key points and at last some important concepts. Dear viewers, we truly hope that you like this initiative taken by Drishti IAS and your feedbacks are important for us. So kindly feel free to give your important feedbacks in the comment section. So without any further delay, let's commence our session.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
Dear viewers, today's editorial is taken from The Hindu, published on 10th of February 2021. The title of today's editorial is Cutting Trans Fat. If we try to summarize today's editorial, we can say that healthier substitutes without any change in the taste or cost of food are now available. If we try to link today's editorial with our UPSC syllabus, we can link it with GS Paper 3, which has sections that include Science and Technology, Environment, Biodiversity and Ecology. Some key points from today's editorial. Come January 1st, 2022, India will join a select group of countries limiting industrial trans fat to 2% by mass of the total oils or fat present in the product. India would thus be achieving the WHO target a year in advance. Now viewers, according to reports, it has been said that by January 1st, 2022, India will join that league of those countries who have actually put a limit on industrial trans fat of only 2% in all the food products which are being produced by these companies. That means industrially obtained trans fat or a product which is being produced industrially will contain not more than 2%. Now viewers, what exactly is the concern with reference to the trans fats? What exactly the trans fats are? It is quite important for us to see. So first of all, we will see what exactly the trans fats are and why this is important for us. Now trans fats are a form of unsaturated fat associated with a number of negative health effects. Artificial trans fat is created during hydrogenation, which converts liquid vegetable oil into semi-solid, partially hydrogenated oil. Now viewers, you people must have seen dalda or vanaspati ghee. Now that is obtained due to the process of hydrogenation. So a very good example can be seen there in the form of dalda or rath or vanaspati ghee. Now what exactly is the context? Why it is important for us to see or be so much concerned about the trans fats? Now WHO has announced its partnership with International Food and Beverage Alliance IFBA, and they have decided to achieve the target of eliminating industrially produced trans fat by 2023. See, naturally also the trans fatty acids are present in many products, but we are talking here about the industrially produced. Now the trans fats, which are also called as the worst form of fat in food, is responsible for over 5 lakh deaths globally from heart diseases every year. The trans fats are the most harmful type of fats which can have much more adverse effect on our body than any dietary constituent. These fats are largely produced artificially, but a small amount also occurs naturally, like I have told you before. The artificial trans fatty acids are formed when hydrogen is made to react with the oil to produce fats resembling pure ghee or butter. The major sources of artificial trans fatty acids are partially hydrogenated vegetable oils, like I said, vanaspati and margarine. It poses a higher risk of heart diseases than saturated fats. Saturated fats raise total cholesterol level. The trans fatty acids not only raise the total cholesterol level but also reduce the good cholesterol. Now, what exactly good cholesterol and bad cholesterol is, we will discuss about this in the later half of the video. So, in mid 2016, the trans fat content was halved from 10% to 5%. And in December 2020, the FSSAI, that is the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, capped it to 3% by 2021. Now, in 2016, the level initially permitted for the trans fatty acids was 10%. It was reduced down to 5% later on. In December 2020, the FSSAI have decided to cap this level of the TFA to 3% by 2021. While the trans fat is naturally present in red meat and various dairy products, the focus is on restricting the industrially produced trans fat used solely to prolong the shelf life of products at less cost. Now, something which is present naturally, you cannot control it. But yes, if we are talking about industrially produced trans fats, now what exactly is the primary purpose? Majorly, the purpose of using the trans fatty acid is that it increases the shelf life of a product, and the cost also is very less. While the government's notification specifically mentions edible oils and fat that are used as ingredient, it also applies to emulsions such as margarines. Now, if we speak about the notification that has been issued by the government, it is being clearly said that they are mentioning about edible oils and fats. However, it is also applicable on various emulsions like margarines. Targeting these ingredients would in effect result in reducing the trans fat content to 2% in all food items, as these two are the major sources of industrial trans fat. Now, if you speak about the major sources of trans fat, then definitely we have the edible oils, the vanaspati, etc., etc. However, the focus is not just on these two products but also on various others. Also, even when the fat or oil contains less than 2% trans fat, repeated use at high temperature can increase the trans fat content. One thing that is required to be noted here is that sometimes it is quite mentioned on the packaging that the trans fat level is less than 2%. However, if that particular product is being used regularly at higher temperatures, then in that case, or if the product is being kept at higher temperatures, then the amount of trans fat can be more than 2%. The focus on cutting down trans fat content in food arises from its proclivity to negatively alter the lipoprotein cholesterol profile by increasing the level of bad cholesterol while decreasing the level of high density lipoproteins, or also known as the good cholesterol. Now, what exactly cholesterol is, we will see. Now, if we speak about cholesterol, so cholesterol is basically a waxy substance that builds in the arteries. It is not completely harmful, despite its reputation for being bad for us. In fact, some of it can even improve your health when consumed in a right amount. It is to be noted, in a right amount. Now, there are two types of cholesterol. Number one is the high density lipoprotein, and number two is the low density lipoprotein. Now, if we speak as a general rule or in reference to the doctors, the HDL, that is the high density lipoprotein, is considered as good cholesterol, whereas the low density is considered as bad. This is because the high density, the HDL, carries cholesterol to your liver. The high density lipoproteins, they actually take the cholesterol to your liver, where it can be removed from your bloodstream before it builds up in your arteries. Whereas if we speak about the low density lipoproteins, they take cholesterol directly to your arteries. Now, when this cholesterol reaches directly to your arteries, it can result in a disease known as atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. Sclerosis. A plaque buildup that can even cause heart attack or stroke. So, these changes in the lipoprotein cholesterol profile increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Now, let's move forward. If we speak about the present scenario, in 2004, when Denmark became the first country to limit industrially produced trans fat content in all foods to 2% of fats and oil, it faced resistance from much of Europe, including the European Commission, or European Union. Now, in 2004, Denmark was the first country which actually realized, and it put a curb on all the food products available in Denmark, that the maximum level of trans fatty acids that can be present would be not more than 2%. Now, initially, Denmark has to face a lot of resistance from European countries. However, later on, when many other countries realized, they adopted the similar restrictions. In fact, in April 2019, the European Union adopted a new regulation that from April 2021 to limit the amount of industrially produced trans fat to 2% in all the foods sold within the European Union. See, European Union realized the importance of this issue, and in 2019 they came up with a provision that from April 2021, no amount of trans fatty acids would be more than 2% in all the food products which are being sold in the European Union. Now, also, if we speak about a 2020 report of WHO has come up with a certification program for trans fat elimination. It aims to recognize countries that have eliminated industrially produced trans fatty acid from their national food supplies. Now, this is the first ever certification program that will recognize countries for their efforts to eliminate one of the main risk factors for non-communicable diseases and protect their population from premature death. Now, this new certification program introduced by WHO also aims to accelerate global progress towards achieving WHO's goal of eliminating industrially produced trans fatty acid by 2023, which was set as a priority target to be achieved in the 13th General Program of Work, that is in 2019. Also, if we speak about the countries which have best practice policies that are already in effect and may meet the criteria for certification and are encouraged to submit expression of interest, they are Austria, Canada, Chile, Denmark, Hungary, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, Saudi Arabia, Slovenia, South Africa, Thailand, and United States. The countries, now this is the second list, it is of the countries who have best practice policies that have passed but have not yet come into effect. Okay, they have come up with several policies, but the implementation has not been that good. So those countries are Belgium, Brazil, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, United Kingdom, and Uruguay. Now, the benefit that has been said by WHO regarding this certification, it says that direct impact can be seen when Denmark adopted this policy. 3 years later, after this cap was put on the trans fatty acid, 3 years later, there was a reduction of 14 patients, 14 people per lakh. Like initially, if the number was 28 people suffering from heart diseases in every 1 lakh people, so that number within 3 years, it was reduced down to just 14 people. See? So this is the impact, right? So that's the reason, and especially we are talking with reference to the cardiovascular diseases, because the cholesterol level, it actually impacts or it actually causes the heart related diseases. Okay. Now, It is now well known that trans fats can be completely eliminated and replaced with healthier substitutes without any change in the food taste or cost. Now, there are various ways that even if you're not using the trans fats, even then the food can be tastier, the food can be very good. We have all such alternatives which are required to be used now. According to WHO, a dozen large multinational food companies have already committed to eliminate industrially produced trans fat from all their products by 2023. Now, this initiative taken by WHO is also being supported by a group of 12 multinational companies. Now, that particular group is known as the IFBA. It is quite important from prelims perspective, so people please pay attention here. IFBA is the International Food and Beverage Alliance. Now, they have announced their support for the call by the WHO and non-governmental organization Resolve to Save Lives for the elimination of industrially produced trans fat from the global food supply by 2023. Now, if we speak about these 12 companies, again, a question that can be framed from IFBA in your prelims examination could be, which of the following is not a member of IFBA? So these 12 companies, so IFBA basically an alliance of 12 multinational food and non-alcoholic beverage companies. Now the members are: number 1, the Coca-Cola Company; number 2, Danone; number 3, Ferrero. You must have seen the Ferrero Rocher's chocolate. Number 4 is General Mills. Number 5 is Grupo Bimbo. Number 6, Kellogg's cornflakes, you must have seen. Then we have Mars. After that, our favorite McDonald's. After that, Mondelez International. See, Cadbury is a brand, but it is being controlled by Mondelez. Okay, very important again. Mondelez International. Then Nestle. Many products are used in our houses. After that, you have PepsiCo. And at last, Unilever, also previously known as Hindustan Liver Limited. So these companies, they have shared a common goal of helping people around the world achieve a balanced diet and healthy lifestyles. With a year's notice, it should be possible for the multinational food companies to redouble their effort to meet the FSSAI standard, while Indian companies that have earlier been able to cut the level of trans fat as in the FSSAI limit should have no excuse not to meet the current capping. Now, when the FSSAI, they have introduced their complete plan, so it is a responsibility of all the companies, whether the multinational or whether the Indian ones, they have to support it. Now, there is something very important which we should see here. See, WHO in 2018 released a step-by-step guide which was known as Replace. From preliminary perspective, quite important, so please pay attention. It is for the elimination of industrially produced trans fatty acids from the global food supply. Now, what exactly Replace is? So, Replace, it provides 6 strategic actions to ensure the prompt, complete, sustained elimination of industrially produced trans fatty acids from the food supply. Now, the 6 ideas are: number 1 is review. Then the next idea is promote. Promote the elimination or the replacement of industrially produced trans fatty acids with healthier fats and oils. Then you have legislate. Legislate is meant for enacting regulatory actions to eliminate industrially produced trans fatty acids. After that, you have assess, the 4th one, and monitor. Assess and monitor trans fat content in the food supply and changes in trans fat consumption in the population. After that, you have create. Create what? Awareness among the people. And number 6, and at last, it is enforce. Enforce what? Compliance of policies and regulation. So this initiative has also been launched by the WHO, quite important from preliminary perspective. So viewers, this was with today's editorial analysis. Now, a question that can be framed with reference to your mains examination is, what are trans fat? What are the various issues and uses associated with the trans fat? So viewers, I hope you liked today's editorial very much. Thank you.